All right, what's up? Came over to Queens for a little bit, left Manhattan. We'll get back over to Manhattan, but over in Queens now, gonna check out a few things. This first thing I've seen several times, but it's always worth a freaking stop. This is Flushing Meadows here in Queens. We're gonna go over here and see the Unisphere. I think the last time I was here was maybe about a year ago. Me and Charlie came by. We'd been up in the Northeast, Boston, and places up there. And on the way back down, we stopped here. I wanted to show him the Unisphere. But there it is. Big globe. I think it's the biggest globe in the world. If not the world, it's definitely the biggest globe in the U.S. But I'm pretty sure it's the biggest globe in the world. Been here since the 60s. It was built for the 1964 World's Fair, which was the second World's Fair that was here in Flushing Meadows. The first one was back in the 30s, I believe, or maybe the 40s. But anyway, this one was put in for the 64 World's Fair. Been in a bunch of stuff. Men in Black. That first Men in Black movie is probably the biggest thing with the UFOs. You can kind of see the towers there behind it. The top of one of those was a UFO in the Men in Black movie, the first one. One thing I've never ever freaking seen. I've been here 4 or 5 times to the Unisphere. There's water down below, supposed to be anyway. It's like in the middle of a big fountain with 48 water chutes, whatever you want to call them, water fountains. I've never ever seen it filled up with water. I'd like to. I bet that looks awesome, especially lit up at night. But the cool part about it not being filled up with water is you can get closer to it. I guess we did anyway. Nobody said anything. We weren't the only ones. Hopped over into the fountain part and got a real close look at the globe. People absolutely freaking hated this thing back in the day. For whatever reason, they thought it was dumb looking, ugly. People petitioned JFK. He was the president at the time. People petitioned him to have it from being built to begin with. But it looks freaking awesome. Just look at that. Check that out. The people have always had bad taste, I guess. It's not just something in recent times. Several people have climbed this over the years. I think the most recent was in 2019. Somebody from some protest group, Extinction Rebellion, something like that, climbed it to protest the wildfires in the Amazon rainforest, which is kind of weird. It seems sort of strange to protest wildfires. I didn't know there were any groups that were pro wildfires to begin with, so maybe a weird choice of what to fight for or fight against. I kind of thought everybody was sort of against wildfires anyway, but to each their own, I guess. And then a couple people over the years have climbed it and fallen and died. Somebody back in the 70s fell and fell from the side of it, and then somebody back in the 90s, a dude fell from somewhere on it, I guess at the top, fell into it and he died. So a couple people have died here too. I think just those two that have died here, but I mean, shame that they died, but gosh, why you got to do something so stupid? Now we're going to head over to something. It's still in Queens, but something I've not seen before. We got to walk through the largest project in the country anyway. I think just this country, but Queensboro Housing Project. Huge freaking, I think it's 96 buildings. This part of that project, and we made it past all that and got up here up the road, up the street to check this out. Tromaville, this is Troma Studios. This is their offices. If you've ever seen any Troma movies, I got introduced to Troma from the cartoon that somehow came out of Toxie. There you see Toxie on the door. I got a sign up here for Poultrygeist, another one of their movies. But back in the day, back in the 80s, I guess it was. Maybe it was late 80s, early 90s, I guess. Toxic Crusaders was a cartoon on TV, and had toys, kind of like Ninja Turtles. That's how I got introduced to them. And then me and a buddy checked out, rented the first Toxic Avenger movie, and we didn't get too far into it. His mom made us stop watching. That was a pretty gruesome, vile movie, but terribly awesome to watch if you've never seen it. There's 4 of those. A bunch of other Troma movies that are just freaking outrageously campy, gory, gross, and great. Horrible, but great. But this is the Troma offices here in Queens, so I always wanted to come check it out. Just never have made it over this way. Definitely don't watch any Troma movies if you're easily grossed out, easily offended. They're pretty gross, pretty offensive. kind of funny, sort of funny, and definitely amusing. Definitely don't watch them if you're a kid for under the age of 18, probably freaking age of 30. But they are cool to watch. Lloyd Kaufman, the guy behind it all, he's put out tons and tons of movies. Some of them that he's made, some of them that he's just distributed. But Troma's done some cool stuff over the years. But that's it. Just stopping by here in Queens. We're gonna head on out of here, and we'll figure out something else to get into. Subscribe, like, whatever. We'll move on.